Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're located. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sherry Powell, and I am the Marketing Director at Kissinger Associates, and we're very glad that you're here. Let's get started. Cullen Lowe is going to present today. Some of you may know Cullen. He's a Senior Business Consultant at Kissinger, but before we do dive into the content with Cullen, I'd just like to take a quick moment and touch on who we are at Kissinger Associates. We have been in business since 1985. So we're celebrating 40 years of helping companies succeed with ERP systems and integrations. And through over those 4 decades of time, we've gained a lot of experience, a lot of expertise, not just in ERP systems like Sage 100, but also in business operations, business processes, workflow, all the kinds of things that are connected to companies using ERP systems successfully. Sage 100 has been a major focus for us for much of our history. We've worked with many companies on Sage 100 implementations, customizations, integrations, providing support. So we really do have a very deep and very broad understanding of that platform inside and out. One area that really sets us apart is our work in integration and automation. So we specialize in connecting Sage 100 with all kinds of other applications, e-commerce platforms, EDI systems, all kinds of other tools and systems that businesses rely on to run more efficiently. But what we're most proud of, given all of that information, is really how we strive to take care of our clients. Our team is known for being responsive. We work hard at being easy to work with, and we're genuinely invested in customer success. Many of our client relationships are decades long, and that's a point of pride for us. So we're very grateful for the relationships that we have with our clients. We really value their trust, your trust, that you place in Kissinger to help you solve important challenges in your business. We definitely couldn't do what we do without your trust and support. And one last thing before we leave this first slide, and then we'll get into the meat. In this slide in the top right section there, that's an image showing the website we launched in April. So if you haven't already, I'd like to encourage you to take a few moments. What kind of marketing director would I be if I didn't ask you to look at our website, right? To browse around on there, learn more about what we do. You may not be aware of the full breadth of the services and the products and solutions that we have to offer. So it's a great way to get a big picture of what we can offer for you as a client. So with that, thank you very much. And if you're ready, Cullen, I'd like to turn things over to you to continue our session.
Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. Just a quick little bit about myself. I started working at Best Software, which later morphed into Sage Software, and now they just call it Sage. Back in 2002, version 3.7.1 was the bright, shiny new penny back in the day, and really wasn't that far removed from the old blue screen versions, which were still around back then. I was hired by the technical tools team in the support department. So my strengths, among others, are crystal reports, customizations, integrations with third-party products, of course, support, implementations, as it says here, workflow upgrades, etc. So been working with Sage, with Mass 90 for quite some time. And with that, let's get started with what's new in the latest version, which is version 2025. And if anybody is confused about versions, well, let's go back to this slide. I devised a little version chart when I started realizing that these versions were a little hard to keep track of. So it used to be 3.7.1, 4.0, 4.05. Then came the 2013 version, which they named 5.0. and 2014 and 2018 and 2019. So I just keep this little cheat sheet handy so that if somebody tells me, oh, we're on version 2019, I say, oh, okay, that's 6.1. Okay, good to know. So just wanted to show you that little handy tool that I have. Okay, so what we're going to cover today primarily are new features, product enhancements. We're not going to go over every single one because that would take too long, but I am going to show you a couple of the new features and enhancements by way of showing you the desktop and doing a demo a little bit here and there of some of the features. I will show you where to find complete details of the release. And one of the sites that we frequently look at is something called the Sage 100 Ideas site. And as it indicates in this slide, we will send you a link to this site after the webinar in the materials that we send you. And this Ideas site is if you see something that you wish the software would do, like, oh, you know what, this is really great the way the sales orders do X, Y, and Z, but if only it would do something else, you would log into this site here and you would write it down, and then you could email it to people so that they could vote for it. You can see some of the votes. Some of these have had over 400 votes for them. So that's one of the sites that figures prominently in the engineering of the new version when they go to add new features. So let's launch right into it. One of the most popular changes is in inventory management. There is now a addition to item maintenance that allows you to assign a universal product code, UPC, or a European article number to an item. And there are 4 different preset settings in this, as you can see here, and then there is an other. And the reason why that is because the 4 presets have specific lengths and formats that are validated. And I will show you that in just a moment. And if you have a UPC or EAN that doesn't correspond to the 4 presets, you can just include it in the other column, and that'll allow you up to 14 alphanumeric characters of your choosing. And this is what it's going to look like in item maintenance. And I wanted to show you real quick what item maintenance looks like in the new system. So here is a demo company. And if you're not familiar with demo companies, ABC, MFG, EEC, these are preset data sets that you can install when you install the Sage 100 product on your system. In my case, I'm using MFG because it has manufacturing, which I know has sales order, purchase order, inventory, etc. So the UPC EAN type, if I were going to say, okay, I have a UPC A and I just want to type in a few digits, it will say, of course, it'll fly off to the other monitor, but it will say, oh, it must be 12 characters with a check digit or 11 without a check digit. So it pretty much spells out what is allowed. If you feel certain that you want to use that specific code, you can just say other, and it's not validated. And actually it will then prompt you to create an alias item if you want for that. So I'm going to bow out of that and back to the slideshow. So there are some new features in purchase order. The obviously option for a cancellation code. That's something that if you want to set that up to require that when you cancel a purchase order, you can require your data entry people to provide a reason for that cancellation. And playing off of the production management module, you can reverse work ticket costs and quantities in return of goods. Another popular new feature is the request for quote. And this has prompted several changes in purchase order entry, which I wanted to show. A new option is the quote option. You can you can create a quote, which you can then, there's this box that says ready to generate. You can generate the quote. You can print the quote. There are several fields all up and down the purchase order module related to the quote feature. And another feature in the quotes is this request quote from vendors. So you can request a quote from multiple vendors, and you can email that using the paperless office email function. And you could ostensibly send this same quote to 3, 4, or more vendors, and they would get back to you and let you know what their cost is, what their price is, delivery time, that sort of thing, availability. So that's a nice, neat new feature. And again, there are more changes in the options and on the utilities, and most of those changes are related to the fact that they've added the quote ability to the system. So just want to stop at this point and let people know I'm used to meetings with clients and vendors and things like that, but I'm not used to doing webinars where I just kind of monologue out here. So this is a little unusual for me. I'm looking forward to the Q&A section so we can have some interaction. New views for request for quote, that just makes sense. Business insights. I'm not sure if everybody is using business insights, but the Business Insights Explorer is a really powerful tool that is built into the menu. And you can see in purchase orders, view, it's going to populate. There we go. Takes a minute or two. And these are new. These they are considered secondary views. So purchase order quotes, material requisitions, that sort of thing. And again, this is just one example of a Business Insights Explorer screen, which is pretty handy. You can explore. You can export these to Excel. You can slice and dice. You can add filters in here, search, that sort of thing. So that's pretty handy tool there. That's Business Insights. There is a new switch view button in invoice payment selection. And I included a couple of screenshots here, but I also wanted to demonstrate that really quickly. In accounts payable, you would go to invoice payment selection, and typically when you select your invoices, you would have to hold down the control button and select, the specific invoices that you wanted. But now we have an include checkbox here, and this is the grid view, and then we also have the list view. And again, we can, this is more what you're used to seeing, but I think a lot of people are going to like using this new grid view. So that's just what I wanted to show you on that. So there are some global changes. One of the changes that I've been hearing a lot about is expanding the accounts receivable invoice number. So it's been limited to 7 characters. And one of the limitations, one of the reasons why people have been asking about that expansion is because if you're bringing in invoices from an external system via a VI job or EDI or something along those lines, you've got to contract them to meet your 7-character limitation. But now you can have as many as 20 characters in the invoice number. And of course, it comes with a utility, the AR invoice expansion conversion utility, which you could run at any time. Also, if you change the option to expand the invoice number, it will actually launch into the utility to make it easy for you to change your existing invoice numbers from 7 to whatever you want to change it to. Audit tracking is now enabled for purchase orders and sales orders. The copy package tracking number in accounts receivable and sales order. They're making it easier to copy a tracking number for your packages from onto the clipboard and into multiple places within Sage. So Crystal Report's runtime has some security features that it has added in both the 64 and 32-bit runtime versions, which are prerequisites when you install both the Sage program on the server as well as the Sage workstation on a workstation or a remote server. And those include security enhancements, compatibility improvements, performance improvements, and new features. And one of the, I use Visual Integrator a lot, and most people don't, but there's another enhancement that you can now enter a descriptive name for temp fields in Visual Integrator. And temp fields are a powerful tool within Visual Integrator that you can use to pull data in from a non-Sage field, and you can use formulas to modify the data and et cetera, et cetera. So that's a nice feature right there, the temp fields. Okay, so in accounts receivable, they've added 2 fields. They've added the last invoice date and last invoice amount. That's available in customer maintenance and customer inquiry. The option to print the extended item description is now readily available in many of the print dialog boxes. And that makes it easier. In the old days, you used to have to go into the Crystal form or Crystal report, and you would say, well, if there is an extended description, then print that. If there isn't, print the regular item description. Anybody who's worked in Crystal has probably had to do that at one time or another. So this makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker to just say, I want to print that extended item description. Customer on credit hold is they've made it easier and less time consuming to take a customer off credit hold. And of course, that's going to be dependent on your role permissions. If you have the permission to take a customer off credit hold, if you went to cash receipts entry, you get a cash receipt from a customer. If they're on credit hold, then you can't move forward. But there's now a new button that allows you to just go into the credit feature in accounts receivable customer maintenance and take them off credit hold. And so that's a nice new enhancement as well. Let's see, desktop changes. So I just want to show you essentially the desktop. I know we looked at it a little bit, but this is the new business desktop. And you can see the look and feel is similar, but a little bit different. Web content. A lot of people like to, if you do a lot of Crystal reports or a lot of Microsoft queries, you might want to use file layouts. Well, you would go into product documents, you'd go into administrator and technical documents, and you'd go to file layouts. And if you've noticed in the newer versions of Sage, the help files are no longer they're no longer on the desktop. They are now all browser based. If you were doing Crystal reports, you might be interested to look at the file layout for a specific table like AP invoice detail. It'll tell you that The primary key is actually made up of the division number, the vendor number, the invoice number, and the line key. There are secondary keys, and it tells you essentially the data types. And again, invoice number can be as much as 20 characters here in AP, division, vendor number, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a handy tool, especially if you write reports or need to find specific data in specific tables. So that's a new change. File layouts, and then the resource button. You can access the Sage Community Hub, the knowledge base, the product documents. I think I got myself a little out of order here, but I did want to show you the Sage Ideas site, which again, we're going to send a link with our PowerPoint presentation here to this site. But here's an example. Increase the length of the accounts receivable invoice number. And if you do submit something here, you have to put in a business reason. And again, importing AR invoices from a dispatch system, 10-digit currently, blah, blah, blah. And people can vote for it. They can vote it up. They can, and again, this is a completed, which means it has been rolled into the product. We talked about documentation. One of the things, now this is the partner portal, but one of the things that I encourage all of our customers to go onto is the customer portal, which instead of partners.sagenorthamerica.com, it would be customers.sagenorthamerica.com. And one of the things that I frequently use in here is the knowledge base, where you can look up error messages, you can look up how do I do various things, and then of course downloads if you needed a product update. You can create a support ticket here. You can look at your Sage user keys, et cetera, et cetera. And the other site I wanted to show you is the Sage Community Hub. It used to be called Sage City. And this is essentially a user forum. There's end users out here. There are channel partners like Kissinger out here. There are developers and sales engineers from Sage. And if you ask a question, you can see here's announcements. There's newly available, blah, blah, blah. So if you had a question, if you get an error message, if you have something you can't find a resource for, then that's a good place to look as well. And I also meant to say that if any of you need help getting onto the customer portal, I am happy to do that. One of the things I used to do a lot of when I worked at Sage. Okay, so there are some enhancements to the general ledger as well. The posting date for reversed journal entry is going to automatically default to the original date. And if it's in a closed period, it'll default to the current accounting date. There is also a button that has been added to reverse a journal entry. Makes it a little easier and saves you time to do that as well. In bank reconciliation, there you can now set the default sort columns, and that's by user. So if one user uses bank rec, and this is in both check deposit and adjustment entry, as well as reconcile bank. So if one user would rather the columns be sorted by check date or by vendor number or something like that, they could set it that way, and another user could set it a different way. And the total amount of cleared transactions now appears on those tasks as well. There are some enhancements in paperless office. Obviously, since the quote feature is new in purchase order, there is now a quote document available in paperless office. And again, that makes it easy to email it to one or more vendors, assuming you have your paperless office connected to your email server. BankRec positive pay export log is now available in paperless office. It did not used to be. So that's an enhancement. Part of the PDF name that it stores for you is going to include the form code. So that's a new feature. And if you've used Paperless Office, you know that it's fairly quick and easy to use the Paperless Office viewers, the journal and register viewer, the customer viewer, the vendor viewer, the employee viewer, if you have payroll. And one thing that was lacking in those viewers is an export to Excel button, which of course you see in most of the ALEs. And ALE, just so you know, is an advanced lookup engine. Anytime you see a magnifying glass icon in Sage, it is considered an ALE, or advanced lookup engine. And you can set these up with filters, you can customize these lookups, and you can export them to Excel after you get your data in the lookup. So those are handy and powerful features in Sage. So a lot of people that have manufacturing might need the production management module, which replaces the work order module. Production management allows you to create work tickets, and Sage has made improvements to the work ticket template maintenance. They have made it easier for you to have standard cost rate per piece labor improvements, copy from step. That's a real time saver feature. If you have a step on your work ticket, you can just copy that step to another work ticket, and option to relieve work in progress on last completion, and enhanced scheduling. So those are just some of the enhancements in production management. There are enhancements in sales order. Telephone number is now showing up on the sales order invoices, the customer telephone number. And again, as we touched on briefly in the one of the slides above, it's now a lot easier to just click the print extended item description button instead of having to modify the crystal form, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a real time saver right there. And you have the option, like we said earlier, to require a cancellation code when deleting orders or quotes. And there are notable enhancements in payroll. You can now print the employee listing and mailing labels by hire date. You can print checks and stubs by us and sort them by the sort field. They're displaying a message when resident and non-resident taxes are selected. You can reset time off hours for employees not in payroll run. And the latest version of Payroll is 2.25.1, and it includes program fixes as well. Of course, that's standard operating procedure. All righty. Well, that took a little less time than I thought.
All right, so let me go ahead, and we're at the poll section. Thank you, Cullen, for all the information you shared on all those different modules. I'm going to launch this poll, and we would love if everyone would participate. So we're just looking to gather some information about the features that are more interesting to you and your business. So you can go ahead and vote. You can select as many as you'd like. We'll let this open for a few more seconds. If you could please vote. All right. Anybody else that hasn't voted yet? We're going to count down 3, 2, one, and we'll go ahead and end our poll. Thank you for participating. And here's the results. So it looks like the UPCs are interesting, universal product codes, and a few other items there as well. Expanded invoice number and request for quote workflow coming in second place. Great, thank you, everyone. Go ahead and close that down. Okay. Turn it back over to you, Cullen, for Q&A. Let's see if we have any. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Sherry. How does this work on the Zoom webinar for Q&A? Am I going to see questions?
I'll have to let you know. I have things here. Let me see. We have one question so far, and I'm looking to see if you have any other questions while I'm doing this first one. Please go ahead and send them in for us. We appreciate it. The question that I have is about production management, and they're asking if that's the same as the work order module.
Good question. It does replace the work order module, although there are two modules that might be available that do a little bit of what work order did. One is production management, and the other and I'm drawing a blank on the other. But essentially, production management is what used to be job ops. And job ops has kind of been broken into, I believe it's operational management and production management. And there is a questionnaire that we would send out if you're currently on work order, or if you're currently not doing manufacturing and you want to do, like, we have a client who was a distributor who just bought a manufacturing company for the product that they distribute. So we're going through the process of evaluating whether production management or organization management would be the best fit for them. So those, one or the other of those has replaced the work order module.
I had a question to answer here. I think I can answer this. At the most recent conference, Sage touched on this a little bit more in depth about expanding the AR invoice numbers. So it will be for accounts receivable, sales order, and job cost. Those all can go from 7 up to 20 characters. Cullen talked a little bit about the conversion utility. If you're interested in it, it's a one-time deal. You cannot go back, right? Once you expand them, that's it. But afterwards, you'll have the increased length. So you may want to get a consultant involved if you're considering expanding those.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Calvin.
Calvin. Yeah, good input. I don't have any other open questions at the moment. If anyone has one, please go ahead and send it in. Otherwise, unless Cullen or Calvin, you have anything else to add, we will move to the last slide and wrap things up.
No, I guess, no, not that one. I was going to show, one thing I did want to point out was, if you look at the downloads, a lot of people, and you would have the downloads section available. It would look a little different in the customer portal, but the download section is where you would see the what's new documentation. See what's new. There's a blurb there, and there's a what's new PDF, and there's the release notes PDF. And so that's all available on the portal. And as I said before, if anyone needs help accessing the customer portal, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, yes, and also going to put in the chat the link for that what's new document. Oh, I see Calvin did as well. All right. Okay, so thank you, Calvin and Cullen, mostly Cullen, for all your input and all the information you shared there. Appreciate it very much. If you are on the webinar and you'd like to know what's next, if you're interested in learning more about Sage 100 2025, there's some options here. You can contact Cullen with questions, or you can contact the main number as well. I have Cullen's phone number and email address there. And if you are ready to move forward with getting on our schedule so that we can plan with you the process to lead up to and perform your upgrade, please get in touch with us. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to working with you soon. Everyone, have a great day.